Today's video is going to cover writing equations and solving word problems with systems of linear equations. I'm going to talk a little fast because I know you can pause and rewind if you need to, and I don't want this video to be too long. This first example is not on the notes, but I want you to think about it and answer some questions as we go. River C is 600 miles longer than River M. If the sum of their lengths is 5,580 miles, what is the length of each river? Now, I know that some of you could do guess and check on this instead of using a system, but the point of this entire topic is you learn how to solve using systems of equations, so you need to write equations and solve them based on the methods we've learned. So first off, our first equation has to be based on River C is 600 miles longer than River M. So we know that C is going to be 600 more, so plus longer than River M. Whatever River M is, we're going to add 600 to find River C. The second thing is sum. What does sum of their lengths mean? Well, sum means add, the result of addition. So therefore, River C's length plus River M's length is equal to 5,580 miles. And now we have a system of equations. We have two equations that give us information we can use to solve. And we're supposed to find what is the length of each river. That means find the value of C, find the value of River M. Now, looking at this system here, what's the best method to solve? We have substitution, addition, or subtraction. Well, because C is isolated already, we know that C is equal to 600 plus M. We can do what I call Indiana Jones style, where you take the C away and replace it with what it's equal to. 600 plus M has replaced the C. Then we bring down the plus M, and that equals 5,580. And now we solve the equation. Combine like terms, we have 1M plus 1M, which is 2M. We subtract 600 from both sides, and then we have to divide by 2 to isolate this M, and we get that River M is 2,490 miles long. We still have to find the length of River C. This equation is easier to use because C is already isolated, and we know that it's 600 more than M. So 600 plus 2,490 equals 3,090, and therefore River C's length is 3,090 miles. And if you add those two numbers together, you will get 5,580, so you know you solved this accurately. Now, this is example one where you need to try the problem and take notes. So this is on your notes sheet. Together, teammates Pedro and Ricky got 2,686 base hits last season. Pedro had 274 more hits than Ricky. How many hits did each player have? So I'd like you to try to write the first equation. It's together, teammates Pedro and Ricky got 2,686 base hits. Well, what that's telling us is that Pedro plus Ricky, in the sense of the number of base hits, those added together equal 2,686. Now I want you to try to write the second equation. We're told that Pedro had, mean equal, 274 more than Ricky. So 274 plus Ricky. So now we have our two equations we can use to solve. And I want you to think about what method you would think would be best to solve this. Well, in this one, the bottom equation is isolated for the value of Pedro's hits. So we can do Indiana Jones style, take the P away in the first equation and replace it with what it's equal to in the second equation. And then we bring down the plus R. It's all equal to 2,686. Now we need to solve, combine like terms, subtract 274 from both sides, and then you have to divide by 2 to isolate the R, and we find out that Ricky has a total of 1,206 hits. We still have to find Pedro's number, and the bottom equation was already isolated for Pedro. So 274 plus 1,206 is a total of 1,480 hits for Pedro. Example 2, this is the think about it. So you'll be answering questions, but you won't have to write anything down on your notes paper. Two Stormtrooper squadrons, Squadron A and Squadron B, have a total of 120 Stormtroopers. The difference in the number of Stormtroopers is 16. How many Stormtroopers does each squadron have? So now we're told there's a total of 120 Stormtroopers with Squadron A and Squadron B. So that means A plus B will equal 120. Now, the second thing says the difference. What would difference mean? Well, the difference means the result of subtracting. Therefore, A minus B is 16. That's what we're told. So now we have two equations. A plus B equals 120. A minus B equals 16. Now I want you to think about what method would be the most efficient. Substitution, addition, or subtraction. Well, hopefully you notice that we have a positive 1b, remember invisible ninja ones here, and a negative b. So you're going to have these cancel out if you add. So addition makes the most sense. A plus A is 2a. The plus b negative b will cancel out. And then we add 120 plus 16 and we get 136. Now all we have to do is divide by 2 on both sides and we solve that Squadron A has a total of 68 Stormtroopers. Well, because Squadron A plus Squadron B equals 120, we can just subtract 68 from both sides and find out that Squadron B has a total of 52 Stormtroopers. And if you do 68 minus 52, you will get 16. So our solution works for this problem. This is example 2 on your paper, so you're going to try the problem and take notes. Two jets, Jet W and Jet Y, weigh a total of 580 tons. Jet W is heavier than Jet Y. The difference of their weights is 422 tons. What is the weight of each jet? Please make sure you're highlighting or underlining key facts, and I want you to try to find the first equation, which has to do with the two jets weigh a total of 580 tons. Well, that would mean that W and Y together equal 580, so W plus Y equals 580. Now I want you to try to write the second equation, please. It has to do with the difference of their weights is 422 tons. Well, remember, difference is subtract. Now, the reason it tells us W is heavier than Jet Y is because W has to go first, because W is bigger, and then this one is smaller, and their difference is equal to 422 tons. So we have our system of two equations, and now we can solve to find the weight of each jet. Once again, like the previous one, addition method is the best for this because the y's will cancel out if you add these together. So 2w equals 1002 when you add these together. Divide by 2 on both sides, and you get that jet W is a total of 501 tons. Still have to find y. Since we know these added together will equal 580, we can just subtract 501 from both sides, and we'll find that jet y is 79 tons. And then 501 minus 79 will equal 422. So our solution is accurate based on the situation in this problem. This one is example 3A, and it is on your paper, so please make sure you are trying it and taking notes as we go. During the first half of a basketball game, a team made 49 successful shots. They were a combination of 1 and 2 point shots. Of course, side note, if it was the Warriors, they of course would make some 3-point shots, but then that would be way too complicated. That's an Algebra 2 level problem. Anyways, the team scored 77 points in all, and how many of each type of shot did the team make? So we need to set up our equation. The first information we have to figure out is what variables we want to use. We can't use 1 and 2 for variables because those are not letters. So I'm going to say X is the number of 1-point shots and Y is the number of 2-point shots because we have two types of shots, 1-point shots, 2-point shots. Now our equation will use X and Y. So this team made a total of 49 successful shots. Therefore, the number of 1-point shots, X, plus the number of 2-point shots, Y, equals 49. X plus Y equals 49. The second thing we're told is there is a combination of 1 and 2-point shots. That means added together, these 1 and 2-point shots will equal 77 points in all. 49 represents how many shots, 77 is how many points. So that means 1 times X, because X is 1-point shots, plus 2 times Y, because that's the 2-point shots, will equal 77. So we have 1-point shots plus 2-point shots equal a total of 77 points. So our two equations are right here. Now you got to think about what method could we use, substitution, addition, or subtraction. Well, substituting, we'd have to isolate X or Y, which we could. This would not be a tough one to use substitution, so you could use that if you want. Digits recommend subtraction because these X's will cancel out, and I'm going to use subtraction because that's what they do, but you guys are welcome to use substitution if you want. So for example, if I add these right now, they're not going to cancel out because this will be 2X 3y, and there will still be two variables. But if I change all of one of the equation signs, so in this case, I'm changing the top one because it'll result in a positive 77 minus 49, versus if I change the bottom one, we'd have two negatives. Your choice. But anyways, you have to change everything. So this is a negative 1x, negative 1y, negative 49. Now, if we add them together, technically we're subtracting. 2 minus 1 is 1y. 77 minus 49 is 28. Therefore, y equals 28. And remember, y equals the number of 2-point shots. So we have 28 2-point shots. Therefore, x plus y is 49 shots total. If there are 28 2-point shots, subtract 28 from 49, and we find that there are 21 1-point shots because x equals the number of 1-point shots, and that's 21. And then you double check. You could multiply 1 times 21 is 21, 2 times 28 is 56, 56 plus 21 is 77, and it works. Example 3b. A movie theater sold 259 bags of popcorn. A large bag cost $4. A small bag cost $1. And all the movie theater made $403 from popcorn sales. How many bags of each size of popcorn were sold? So once again, you should be trying to highlight and underline key information. And we also have to, once again, use variables here because we have X is the large bags of popcorn that cost $4. Y is a small bag of popcorn costing $1. You could use L for large, I guess, and S for small, but L's tend to look like 1s and S's tend to look like 5. So I'm using X and Y. And we are also told that there's a total number of bags sold of 259. So think about what would the equation look like for the total is 259. Well, it's going to be x plus y equals 259 because the number of large bags plus the number of small bags equals a total of 259. And then think about, based on what we did on the last problem, if the large bags cost $4 and the small bags cost $1 and the total amount of money made is 403, think about how you would write that equation. Well, it's $4 and $1 combination equal 403. So we have something plus something will equal $403. 4x, because it's $4 per each large bag, plus $1 per y. So 1y equals 403. Now we have a system of equations. Once again, you could do substitution. You could say x equals and then minus y on both sides, or you could say y equals and minus x on both sides, then substitute. Digits uses the subtraction method because they change the signs and subtract. So I'm going to do that. So if I do negative, 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 when we add these together, we're going to have 4x minus 1x, which is 3x. The y's will cancel out because this is technically a negative 1y, a little ninja here. And then 403 minus 259 is 144. And then think about what you do next. Divide by 3 on both sides, we get 48. And remember, X was representing the large bag for $4. So we have 48 of the $4 bags are the large bags. And then because the total number of bags sold was 259, if we subtract 48 from 259, we find that Y equals 211. And since Y is the $1 bag, we have 211 of the small bags were sold. You are done. Congratulations. Please use the rest of the time you have wisely.